So happiness. What is happiness? Wow, silence is happiness. Contentment, yes.
Satisfaction.
Good feeling, okay.
For me, it is enlightenment.
Enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Enlighten us.
Something you experience.
Enlightenment is happiness. Contentment is happiness. Yes, sir. Acceptance. Acceptance is happiness. State of mind. Happiness is a state of mind.
For me, happiness is when you are this kind of bliss feeling. This is for me the ultimate that I'm feeling.
Bliss feeling, yes. But all these are like momentary, right? You have it for some time, you don't have it for others. So does it mean we can be happy only tactically, depends on emotions? So any other, how to be happy? How to stay happy? How to expand that blissfulness, how to expand the contentment, how to expand that state of mind?
It can be experienced only at present.
Can be experienced only at present, yes. That's absolutely, happiness is always in the present moment, correct. So this is more from the field of positive psychology, not necessarily from the field of meditation, right? So do you know the difference between psychology and positive psychology? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I've heard.
Okay.
I've done master's in psychology.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, I should be careful when I talk something. So psychology traditionally, correct me if I'm wrong. So psychology traditionally deals with your past, right? So what were the fears, what happened in the past, all that stuff. And then at a couple of decades ago, there is a gentleman named Martin Seligman in the US. So he started the field of positive psychology. He went through some crisis. He went through some, I think he was a Harvard or one of those professors. So then he said, psychology should not always be in the past. Past is past, don't worry about it. It's about how do we energize, how do I make people enthusiastic, energetic, and happy for the future. So that is where this whole happiness research and all happens. So that is positive psychology. How can you live happily? How can you live with positive emotions in the future? So a lot of things around, a lot of tests, a lot of assessments, a lot of exercises that happen there. So what is happiness? I've asked that question. So typically, like what you said, right? I mean, contentment is not there. We define happiness as some of these emotions: love, connection, joy, right? Pride, harmony, abundance, right? I have a lot of money, I have health, and I'm happy. So serenity, gratitude, interest, wonder, all that is what is right. And usually, how do you experience happiness? For example, you're watching some elevating movies, right? You feel very happy, yes or no? So you're watching a wonderful sport or a game. India, Pakistan, India wins, we are all happy. But India doesn't win, we are not happy. Right? That's how we define. Or going for a run, spending time with family. This is how we define happiness traditionally, right? To us, it's a state. And then there are some activities when we are in that state is what we feel we are happy, right? So, okay, so there is this guy, again, more on the positive psychology side. There is a guy called Dan Buettner. There is a website called Blue Zones, right? So, I don't know if some of you have heard about it. So, bluezones.com, probably bluezones.in or bluezones.com. So, what they've done is they did some research across the world to find the people who are living the longest. Right, so they did some research, they had some attributes, they found specific areas in the world where people have a very long age, right? And these are this is a bit dated, maybe 5-6 years old. Some of them might have dropped off this, I don't know if really something else got added. There are certain areas like Ikaria in Greece, in California, in Italy, Costa Rica, and Okinawa in Japan. So these are the areas where they found people living the longest. A lot of people living beyond 120 years, 100 to 120 years, right? And so they've interviewed, they researched, and they found out what is common between them. And they've documented that in their website. We will come there. There are like 7 or 8 things. Ikigai, yes. Ikigai also talks about the same thing. Correct. So Ikigai, in fact, there's one example in Ikigai that again talks about this whole mindfulness thing, right? There is this 107-year-old lady in Japan. So what she does is every day her routine is morning she wakes up early, she does all her chores, and then takes the sheep to graze. She goes like 3 to 4 kilometers every day, and then evening comes back. That's all she does. And she is supposed to be one of the happiest person out there. Yesterday we talked about doing and non-doing. So that's all she does, right? But the fact is she does that completely in the present moment, right? And she's completely satisfied. She says, I don't want this, I don't want anything. Obviously, food habits are absolutely good. So, but all she does is she doesn't look at achieving something outcome. The process, she enjoys the process of taking the sheep all the way for 2 to 3 kilometers and then waiting there till the evening, right? And then observing each and every sheep and then getting them back in the evening and then doing a chore. That is all she does. So that so much of mindfulness that can be practiced in just sitting, in just walking, in just not doing something significant. Even these are all significant, right? So based on that study, you have 9 commonalities that lead to longer, healthier life. But you can go and, in fact, there is a assessment also on this website. You can go and figure out how happy you are. There is a test that says it. There are like 15, 20 questions. You can answer that, right? So here what they say is, I don't know, so it's not very clear, but that's not the essence of what it is. I'll read from here. So 9 things are movement, move naturally. So move naturally, a sense of belonging, sense of having loved ones, as relationships. Again, relationships, right tribe. Wine at 5 or wine at 6, which is nice. Plant-based food. What is that? Plant-based food. Wine at 6. Wine. Yeah, so that's more a community activity. 80% rule. So I think more to do what they do in the time, and they relax, downshift, right? They spend right amount of sleep and relaxation, and they all have a purpose, right? They all have a meaning in life. For that lady, the purpose is nothing. Purpose to get the cattle out there, graze, and coming back. Nothing grand about it, right? So that's where we are. But then, based on this research, Martin Seligman found something more, right? So they found 5 key things all of us should have or practice. 5 things all of us should have or practice. Okay, yeah. Nice. So first is, this is about positive emotion and health. First thing to be feeling happy is you'll have to have positive health, positive emotion, lack of negative emotions that we've all been covering, right? The second thing is great relationships. So in all the tribes, all the communities that they researched, everywhere they had great friendships or great families, right? In some of the communities, what he spoke about is they have a rigor. At some point, when you are 10 or 12, the elders group them into specific friends. For life, you 5 are friends, right? Just like our arranged marriage, there is arranged friendship. Right? So that is how throughout the life, there are the 5 people who always mingle and all this stuff, right? So that improved relationships, right? So positive relationships is another big thing for us to be happy. The third element is engagement. not the marriage engagement. So it's about engaging whatever you do, engaging completely and deeply, right? We call mindful, yes, but deep work, where you forget yourself, where you love to do the work, right? Where you don't pass judgment, mindful working, so mindful activities, whatever it is, right? So there is another book written by one Western author called Deep Work. Some of you might have read. So deep work comes from mastery, anything that you are good at. I think there are 3 dimensions: mastery, control, and autonomy, something like that. So deep work is about anything that you're deeply engaged in. It could be as simple as gardening, right? It could be as simple as cooking. So each of us should have at least one deep activity. It could be music, it could be arts, it could be doing some work, it could be going out and helping people, whatever it is. But deep engagement is complete mindful without focus on the outcome, something you love to do. Right? We'll get to that purpose. So irrespective of whatever stage of life we are in, we are supposed to be engaged in some deep work every day. Right? That is why if you see a lot of our elders, after moving from work to retirement, is a huge drastic shift, right? So at work they have all these too, right? I mean, they have work relationships, they work 8 to 10 hours a day, but then retirement, sitting at home, is absolute total shift, right? They're not engaged in some activity. So they'll have to be. I know one of my friend, so he lives in the US, so his dad in Chennai. So every day he wakes up, gets ready as if he goes to work, right? And then he walks, I think, 3 kilometers all the way to his bank, shows the passbook, gets an entry done, and then he walks back 3 kilometers. That is all he does, right? The bank knows him, so he knows as soon as he comes. So they will look at it, whether it's an entry or not. Not that he has an everyday entry, right? So, but that is what he does. So that is his way of engaging with life, right? So as he goes along, I mean, I'm assuming that there is a sense of accomplishment for him. There is a sense of engagement for him. So engagement is anything. We cannot be without doing anything. Without doing anything causes stress. But without doing anything deeply causes stress. So engaging in something is very important. And then a lot of us at work, we hate work sometimes, right? The type of work we are forced to do something. So there are always ways for us to either do something better or come back home and do something which is engaging for you, right? So that makes you feel happy. And then the fourth one is meaning. Meaning in life, we'll cover that purpose in a minute. So what is the purpose? There should be a higher purpose. There should be a larger purpose to what you're doing, right? It's not just for me or myself, right? So it's more about, is there something for the family? Is there something for the society? Whatever it is. So usually meanings that are larger than yourself tend to hold on for a long time. Whereas if it is just for me and myself, whatever it is, then it's probably short term, right? Me. And then the last one is A. So any suggestions on what that A is? What is it? Awareness, okay. Acceptance. I thought people will tell acceptance. So it's accomplishment. Right? So it's accomplishment. So every day we should have a sense or feeling of accomplishment. I've done this. It could be you're walking, it could be doing something new, it could be reading something. So something that you have accomplished. Oh, I've done something extra, I've done something new, right? So that will give you a sense of accomplishment. If every day is going to be the same, it's going to be boring, right? Again, accomplishment is not about those large accomplishment about getting that job at Google or getting that $1 million funding or something like that, right? It's not about this large accomplishment. It's about tiny accomplishments, right? For example, someone was mentioning before they had started attending the 21-day meditation session, they never used to wake up before 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., right? When they started doing the meditation session, they started waking up at 4:30. And he was feeling very happy. Never in my life I woke up before 6 o'clock, right? So for him, that is an accomplishment at that point of time. Yes. So you'll have to pat your back. Yes, I did it, right? Similarly, walking or any other art, anything that you're learning new, right? Again, Patriji always emphasizes it's always about enjoyment. You have to be learning, doing something other than your deep engagement, right? So this accomplishment could happen through your deep engagement, or it could be just any other things, right? So this is what Martin Seligman, there are a couple of books also called Flourish, where he talks about this, right? And what is it? Prema, yes, love. Okay, so yeah, prema in Hindi also. I think everywhere more of the things love. Sorry. So prema. I mean the word. I mean I'm not hinting. Prema is what causes happiness. Implicitly, yes, right? But these are the 5 things, right? More often than not, we probably are doing only 2 of the 3 at any point of time. 2 of the 5, sorry. Right? So positive emotion and health, always we try to take care. This is the bigger challenge for us. Relationships, for some of us it's fine, some of us at a varying degree of level. Engagement we totally miss because we think happiness is more about the other 2. Meaning, yeah, we do have some shorter meanings, but not a grander purpose, grander meanings. Then accomplishment, again, we totally miss. We need to have something of that, right? So the suggestion, again, tomorrow we'll talk about the takeaways as well, is about every day, please engage in some deep work, something that you love to do. Could be anything. Hobbies, yes. Hobbies, yes. So that's what, if your work is not providing, if your regular work is not providing all this, you can focus on your hobbies, right? It's a question of making time for it and not or going forward for it, right? So yeah, I think there are the slides for this, right? Yeah, so feeling good. I mean, he talks about the different lives as well. So this is about the pleasant life. When I have positive health, positive emotions, everything is pleasant to me, right? It's about pleasure, comfort, warmth, absence of negative emotions, wellness, health, and things like that. And then relationships, it's about authentic connections. So that is more about the connected life. So absence of stressful relationships, authentic connections, sharing, growth-minded people, right? And the idea is, yeah, there are always toxic relationships. If you need to get away from it, you need to get away from it in the interest of your happiness and health. Engagement. This is more about the engaged life, right? It's about finding flow, deep enjoyment, think and feel nothing. So when I say deep engagement, you are so engrossed in that without thinking and feeling. That's what happens in deep meditation as well, right? You are in that no thought space. Similarly, as I kept saying, it's like being in the zone. You're playing, right? You're completely focused on it. You don't even have any thought about it. So similarly, singing, music, dance, a lot of those things, art, right? Sport. So a lot of activities allow you to do that, completely mindful of what you're doing. So another character is loss of time and awareness. You wouldn't even know. You'd have done that for 1 hour, 2 hours. You must be thinking, oh, I thought it was just 5 minutes. You lose sense of time. So that is what is the deep engagement we're talking about. And then the meaningful life, right? So purposeful existence, it's about passion. It's about something greater than ourselves, fulfillment. And accomplishment, as I talked about, it's about mastery. It could just be mastering a subject, mastering a new skill, right? Anything that you want to do to accomplish life. That's where we want. So now I want to take off from here. So all clear? So this is the survey. You should take it when you get your phones. So bluezones.com/en. If you go to bluezones.com, there is a happiness survey menu, so you can take that.